Today we are looking at the unique cards included in the Proving Grounds box, as well as the signature spells of the champions. Let's go! Alright, so we are now nearing the end of seeing all the cards here for the first set of Riftbound. We have looked at basically the card for each color there. So yeah, the only few things remaining would be to look at one here, the Proving Grounds cards, and then we'll also take a look at the signature champion spells. And then after that, the last but not the least, we'll take a look at the battlefields and kind of give my first impression on those. Obviously, the battlefield, nice that we're doing it last, so we've seen all the cards, we kind of get an idea. Yeah. And then after that, we'll probably make another tier list, kind of ranking the legends again, in the same way that we did the first one, just with the difference with that now is that I actually have seen the cards. I kind of have an idea, and then when I do that tier list, I'll highlight some of the cards as well that I think are going to be working with the legends there, and kind of like the highlights, and this is probably what's gonna be in the deck or what's gonna make the deck type of thing. For example, I've talked about this so much, but Aurora, so you'll probably see a lot of the orange decks revolve around me talking about Aurora and that kind of thing. So yeah, anyways, we can get going with this Proving Grounds stuff here. So there's a few cards in here, and then we'll take a look at the signature champion spells. Alrighty, let's start with Annie here. So Annie is a 4 might for 5 with 1 rune, and each spells and abilities deal 1 bonus damage. Alright, that fits very well into red. Very much so a, this fits basically however you want to play red. If you want to play it a little more aggressive, your spells are stronger. If you want to play it a little more mid-range, that kind of thing, this works too. Although the more I think about it, you'd probably focus this on abilities. Your deck will probably focus rather on abilities rather than spells, because at that point, if I could recall everything correctly, the advantage of spells that you get in the color purple in the chaos, while some of them are really cool and stuff like that, I don't think that advantage greatly outweighs playing a spell. If you want a more spell type deck, I don't know if that really outweighs something or outweighs the idea of you playing Kaisa, right? Like, if you're gonna want to play like a spell slinger using kind of the advantage of this card here, I think at that point, you're playing the red spells, you might as well just focus on playing Kaisa and get those red spells cheaper. All right, as an example, we have the Firestorm here, deal 3 to all enemies at the battlefield, right? 6 and 1, that's very expensive, but in Kaisa that's just 6. With that being said though, this card, you're just sitting comparing them to cards like this, which is cheaper, cards like this, which is so much stronger, cards like this, which is like at some point, you kind of just, this might be like the last spell, and if we have room we'll fit it, otherwise we don't care. If we have it, we have so much other good spells in the deck. Speaking of which, we have 2 for Incinerate, action speed, deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield, deal 3 with Annie, but again similarly, actually, yeah, some of those spells are so cheap that maybe it is just worth running this over Kaisa, maybe, but definitely Incinerate is just outclassed, outmatched. So if you compare it to the other spells, this one of the bottom, more at the bottom, unless you're truly focusing on like a spell slinging increased damage type deck. But even then, I feel like if you start playing, if you really need to play this, I feel like you are starting to lose kind of putting better cards in your deck, right? We've seen so many cards in red, and I don't think this is one that will make the cut, unless it's just one of those metas where I really need to have an answer every turn, and that's maybe, but yeah, no, I don't think so. Let's rather play a unit instead of playing this. Right, like a cheap 2/2 unit essentially will kind of do the same thing. And you have a unit which can score you points. Next, we have a 4 for 5 one. Are they roughly all like this? I guess no. Master Yi, while you have 8 runes, have +4. Alright, so that's cool. I want to see the other Master Yi. Same with Annie, I want to see the other Annie to kind of compare, but this one's not bad. The moment you get 8 runes, now you have an insane defender in Master Yi. 8 for 5, right? Which becomes 10 for 5 while defending, and then you have all the other spells that are just gonna go crazy. So yeah, the only thing though is you need to have 8+ runes. So this downside might not seem too much, but over the course of a game, it could if you're not very careful, because you will be recycling your runes over time. So if you're very, very careless when it comes to that, you could easily lose this. Think you have, especially in the more high pressure matches, think you have 8. This is most likely what's gonna happen when you play this card. I'm telling you now. You have this, your opponent answers, and you play a card to respond to whatever they're playing. You recycle a rune as part of the cost of your response. You don't realize this guy just goes back to 4 and you lose. Feels bad. So you gotta be careful when you play a card like this. But the effect's not bad. Next is 6/6 Zephyr Sage Shield. This one's not bad. You could go into the Aurora Yi. Aurora Yi, you get a 7 shield. While it might not be the best card available for that, but if you need extra card, you can put this in. Other than that, it's not really bad. It's still kind of even. So with shield, it's not bad. Next is Lux for 5/6. So a little expensive. When you play a spell that costs 5 or more, give me +3 this turn. That doesn't feel too good. It's already expensive to play the spell. At the same time, I don't know what the +3 benefit will give you when you're already killing some of the units. Obviously, there are some edge cases and uses for this. For example, both battlefields are taken. You kill one of the battlefields, and then you play the Lux on the other, so they get killed. In that sense, yeah, it's cool, but I'm not enamored by it. That's just, for more often than not, you'll kill something that costs 5 or more, you draw a card, and then this +3 just kind of dead because you probably just play it on an open battlefield or something like that. So yeah, that's Lux there. I want to see the other one. I hope the other one's way better because I really want to play Lux. Next is Garen, 5 for 6 and 1. No, their cost technically, or looks like they all have 1 at the very least. That's very expensive. Assault 2, a Shield 2. Alright. So Garen here is a pseudo, basically 6 or 7 for 6. Just 5 whenever it's just not doing anything, but in order to basically in the combat, it's always gonna be 7. That's just Garen. I think that's okay. I want to see the other Garen and then compare the two as well. Next is Gentleman's Duel, 6 cost and 1 rune. Action: give a friendly unit +3 this turn, then choose an enemy unit. They deal damage equal to their might to each other. Alright, so this one, yeah, it's a little cool. It's a little expensive still, more on the expensive side. The effect is cool, but man, paying 6 to do this is a little rough, especially because 6 sets you back so much, a lot of mana or a lot of energy for the turn. So for example, if you play this and your opponent just responds bounce back their unit or remove your unit, you just paid 6, while their removal could have easily just, you know, paid 1 or something like that. So it's kind of tough. We've seen so many good cards already at cheaper cost that, yeah, I don't see this card kind of seeing play. Ooh, okay, cool. So there are the other ones. Here is a Master Yi for 6 for 7, ganking. I enter ready. What's the other one? Huh. So this one's later, but it does enter ready, which is kind of a big deal. It is a little bit more expensive, but you do have access to this every time. In the... yeah, because it has ganking as well, so I guess a one turn haste. I'm just thinking which one is better between the two. I feel like this might be better slightly. They're not the greatest. Like I said with this one's okay, and this could get sticky, but you will eventually lose the 8 runes and this will feel bad. At least this one's always going to be 6. And ganking will be relevant. I guess it doesn't matter which one you play, just however you play the deck, I suppose. Right? You also don't need to put them in your deck. They're not the greatest. So if you want to play Master Yi, you just put one of the champions, whichever one, and then the rest of your deck is just without this card, which is okay. Next we have Annie. So 3 for 4. When you play me, return a spell from your trash to your hand. Alright, so this one is 100% the one that you play over this. Oh, I wish to switch the art, because this one is sick. So if you want to play spells that are like I said, like, instead of Kaisa, you wanted to play Annie, maybe you play that, but you could also play this. Return a spell is crazy. Right, so you can just abuse, you know, Falling Star, for example. Abuse Falling Star. Right, if you have enough runes, like late game, you can just abuse this. The other thing is one thing we talked about. I remember, if I recall, I believe it is in this color. This one here, Ride the Wind. We talked about a Ride the Wind combo, which I believe works perfectly. Yeah, so what you do is you play Vi, right, move Vi and ready her, and then gank, and then use the recycle so that you could grab some stuff and make, or however you want to do the order in that, but basically you will gank with, you use Ride the Wind, so Vi takes one spot, and then you gank and kill whatever units that they have on the other, right? And that's very, very strong. The reason now why Annie is insane is because if for some reason you have to discard, you know, Ride the Wind, for example, well, now you kind of need to draw into it. But with Annie, you can just keep Annie there. She's available anytime, and when you have Vi and you're ready to go for the kill, you could play Annie. And yeah, I believe that still works, because how much? 4, let's see, 4, 5, 6. That's 6, and Ride the Wind is 2, right? So for 8, basically you have that combo, and that combo it's gonna be easy to always have now because you have a card like this. This is insane. Love this card. So yeah, and then even with Ride the Wind, you know, if so at the end of that turn you'll have 2 more open, because Annie will just reactivate 2 runes, in which then she just, you know, you have safety on that for your Vi, if ever, right? So very cool, very cool. Love this one. Love this effect. This effect is actually super nuts because it's readily available to you when you need it as well. That's crazy. So yeah. Next we have Flash for 2. Oh yeah. So we just want to go back to Annie real quick there. So yeah, just comparing it to this. While this is awesome as well, or not awesome, but like this is playable. If you really want to play a spell slinger and don't want to play Kaisa, you'd consider this. But man, this effect is so strong, and you guys will see how strong this effect is once you start playing the game, and you see Annie's just returning spells left and right and being able to combo. Things like that are so strong in games. So next we have Flash spell for 2. The reaction speed, move up to 2 friendly units to base. Alright, it is what it is. It's like this is cool, for example, in Annie, right? You know, you play Annie, you grab a flash. Now you're ready for the flash. If anything would die, you'll just flash it back, return it to base. Now it's alive. For example, yeah, I have no good example, right? Maybe Vi, right? Whatever. Or and then I just thought about it right now. Flash as well works with something like Kane, right? You flash Kane, or you know, like even so that he just moves, so you get that movement, and then you move something else, like a Yasuo, for example. And then now Yasuo can attack Kane, or Yasuo and Kane can attack, and Kane doesn't take damage. That kind of thing is super strong. So there's definitely some good stuff with this, and I expected to see play. It's probably one of the more playable cards that we've seen so far in here. Next is Blast of Power. 6 for 1, kill a unit at a battlefield. How different is that from the other kill that we saw? Because we saw a kill that's about expensive too, and they just like, straight up kill a unit. Oh, this one here. 4 for 2. Huh? Okay. So 4 for 2, or 4 and 2. This one is 6 and 1. But this one does work with Lux. So this one's essentially 6 and 1 plus a draw to kill a unit, but it has to be at a battlefield. I'd not too bad, just because Lux exists, right? So cards like this, you just kind of put it on the Lux deck, see how it feels. If it feels like garbage, throw it out. Not throw it out. Remove it from your deck. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you just try it, right? Yeah, there's definitely something in this card. So, but yeah, other than that, I don't see it getting played. Just play the other cards. This one really you only play it because it costs 5 or more. Next we have Garen. Other friendly units have +1 here. 5 for 6 and 1. Huh. Other friendly. I guess if you are designing the deck to play in Garen's strength, you play this. Just so you have protection, slightly more protection when your units are on base. They have +1 more. But if you're playing like Aurora, play this, please. Aurora Garen, this is definitely the better card for that. Just more sticky stuff for your opponent to handle. Next is Lux, 2 for 4. This one feels really good. Actually, I don't know if it feels really good actually. Just because it has to live 1 turn. The effect is really cool. Obviously, we know how strong this is. You can add 2 to play spells. It just you need to protect this Lux, and that might be slightly harder. But in all honesty, I'd probably just play this as well over this. This one really feels like it doesn't do anything. Well, this one has potential to do something, you know. And because this is at reaction speed, you can also kind of play cheaper spells, and you know, if you're playing like 5 cost spell the dot deck, you could also always make sure you have like 3 runes up, and then automatically you could play a 5 on your opponent's turn or something like that. So yeah, definitely I would play this if for my Lux deck, because I have a feeling I'm gonna make a Lux deck. That deck just seems so fun. Next is Recruit the Vanguard for 6. Play 4 recruit unit tokens. Huh. Is that good enough? I feel like it's a little expensive, but my gosh, in Lux, that's amazing, right? You pay 6, you play 4 unit tokens, and you get 1 card. That feels really good. Yeah. In Garen, you might play it just so that you could easily develop tokens. You could also play this in the Aurora Garen version just because it's a card that is not a unit. So when you pull Aurora, you just want to make sure you see the big units, right? So you basically get a way to play units without putting units in your deck, and that's kind of what the Aurora decks kind of want, which makes their decks a little bit better. So yeah. Next we got Vanguard Attendant 5/6. I enter ready. Yeah, it's essentially like a 5/5 that you could accelerate with, right? Like that's essentially this card. It's just that you don't have the option to do this, so it's a little worse. This one you have the option to do it. This card you don't. You pay the 1 in the rune and it just enters ready. So it's worse than those cards. Alright, so now we're basically done with the the unique cards in Proving Grounds. We're now looking at the champion signature spells, which is cool. Very excited to look at these. So let's go. Yeah, Tibbers 8/7/8 unit. That's the unit, so it's not a spell. When you play me, deal 3 to all units at battlefield. That feels strong. You probably just play this at the very least a one-off just to have it on the deck. It's a late game card type thing, or when hopefully it pops when you need it. It really depends on what kind of Annie deck you're kind of looking at. If it's more aggressive, you definitely want this anyway, just so you have a late game insurance type card to kind of finish off the game. You know, deal 3 units to all units at battlefield. You're going to kill some, you're not gonna kill all sometimes. Then that's when all the other spells come in handy. So yeah. Next is Highlander for Master Yi. That's a signature spell this time. The reaction spell, choose a friendly unit. The next time it dies this turn, recall it exhausted instead. Okay. In that sense, maybe I don't want it, because how expensive is Sonya's? Sonya's just feels so much cheaper to have. Yeah, 2 cost doing the exact same thing. While what the speed? It is a hidden. It triggers this the reaction speed for spell. Yeah. I guess it's okay. Just I feel like there's just so many other better cards. Next we have Final Spark. 8 cost, deal 8 to a unit. I'd rather maybe just play Blast of Power. It just kills. If that's kind of the goal anyway. That sucks. Because Lux is so cool. This deck is so cool. Maybe you just play it just so you have more spells that are 5 cost. But and then you just, every time you draw, it's like you're controlling the game so much. Like everything they play, you have an answer for. Maybe that's how you kind of design it, and you always keep drawing cards. But if you're just choosing between, then just play Blast of Power. It's a little bit better than this. Then I believe there's also just a better yellow cards there. So yeah. Next is Garen's signature spell, Decisive Strike, for 5, and then which color are you choosing? The rune. Return. Give friendly units +2 this turn. An action. That's very weak. That is super weak. For 5, that is so expensive. No, and I believe there was a card in yellow that kind of does the same thing. This one. 6 and 3, but you get +5, and then that one is 5 for 5 and 1. Yeah, and you get +2. You guys, yeah, no, I just rather play the other one. I think this is just so, I don't know, it's a little underwhelming. Especially for a signature spell, you'd think it would be like amazing, right? So, but yeah, let's go to the next set of champs here. Oh, website weird. Website weird. Okay, here we are. I didn't know that these existed, so that's cool. First we have Acathian Rain, 7 and 3, so 7 and 2 in Kasa, sorry. Do this 6 times. Deal 2 to a unit. Ain't no way. So deal 12 damage. Spread out. That is insane. Why did she get so much good stuff? You know? That just feels so good. Just because you can choose different units and you can choose to kill something. Because 12 will probably kill something. Or you can kill many things. That, like, the flexibility is always good. Like, I've talked about it multiple times. Having options is good. Having options is good. Having options is good. And this gives you options for a kill spell. That is insane, insane, insane. And the fact that they probably just increased the cost for this just because of the effect. It's probably, they probably counted this for 7-2 to keep it balanced. So crazy. Next we have Volibear Stormbringer, 6 for and 2. Choose a friendly unit in your base, deal damage equal to its might to all enemy units at the battlefield, and move your unit there. Oh, okay. This one's really cool. This is really strong. We've already seen how good Aurora is and how strong that Volibear, the other Volibear champ card is. And if that can deal damage equal to its might to all enemy units, and then you can just go there. Yeah, no, this definitely, if you're playing Volibear, play this. This is so strong. Next is 4 cost spell for Jinx, 1 rune cost here. The Super Mega Death Rocket, nice. Deal 5 to a unit. Okay, that's under a good stat. When you conquer, you may discard 1 card to return this from your trash to your hand. Oh, neat. Neat, very neat. So it still works with the effect of Jinx, and basically you replace one of your card to this, which is very, very cool. Yeah, no, the card is very dope, and we like that. You know, it is very cool for Jinx, and yeah. And the fact that you can fill up your discard is good because now you can always be ready for Vi's effect there. Vi is basically the card that you'd use in red aggro. It's what it feels like, especially in this color combo with Rido Wind. So yeah, you can fill up your discard or your trash so that, you know, and then you'll always have a kill spell. That's very good. Next we have Darius's Noxian Guillotine, 4 cost and 1. Action, choose a unit, kill it. The next time it takes damage this turn. That's alright, very easy because you can just put it with the small things, or you can do it with the red, which deals damage to a lot of things, right? And then if this is the second card, Legion, kill it now. Oh, okay. You don't even need that. That's very sick. And because of this, you can just use this, and this is technically a 3-1 with kill spell. That is super strong. That's insanely strong, and you will play this in Darius for sure. Alrighty, next we have Ari here, the 9-tailed fox with her Foxfire 3 cost spell. The hidden, an action, kill any number of units at a battlefield with total might 4 or less. Alright, we just seen some crazy ones. This one in it. It's not bad, by the way. It's just the other ones are so crazy, right? Like Like, you know, Noxian Guillotine is so good. Acadian Rain, Stormbringer, even this. This feels a little underwhelming to see, especially on Ari, which is like one of the more popular champs. You know, I get the effect, killing a number of units under battlefield. It just, man, that the fact that it's a total of might 4 or less, which, I mean, I guess it's cheap enough, but yeah, you're just killing small things, which can be beneficial. It might be good in something like the aggro, or not aggro, sorry, against like yellow decks with tokens and stuff like that. And but yeah, you just gotta be careful. You should probably still play it or put it in the side just for those matchups. But yeah. Next is Lee Sin's Dragon Rage, costs 4 for 1. Move an enemy unit, then choose another enemy unit at its destination. They deal damage equal to their might to each other. Oh, okay, that's cool. Alright, so this one here is very good. Yeah, if you're playing Lee Sin, you'd probably want this. That effect is super strong. Basically, you can, if done correctly, you could kill 2 things, which is super strong. Alright. So yeah, cool. Next is Yasuo's Last Breath, 3 cost and 2 runes. Ready a friendly unit, it deals damage equal to its might to an enemy unit at a battlefield. Alright, then that one is very strong. Some of the stuff in here in this deck, like Yasuo and Kayn, as we've seen those cards. So Yasuo, basically when it attacks, it deals damage. Right, so what you could do with ready Yasuo deals it might as damage to something. Now when it attacks and goes to that battlefield, now you're basically just killing whatever the unit is, and with then you get the no blowback damage to you. So that's strong. Kayn is kind of the same thing. You know, you move Kayn, ready it because it's ganking. He goes to somewhere else. It deals the damage, and then it will deal 6 more after without taking damage back. So those kind of effects are strong. So yeah, I expect Last Breath to be played. Next is Zenith Blade for Leona, 3 cost, 3 and 2 runes. Stun an enemy unit at a battlefield. You may move a friendly unit to that enemy unit's battlefield. Oh, okay. So this one, if you could stack it, so yeah, because you do this, resolve this, and then Leona will resolve after. Doesn't resolve in the middle, so you will always have something to buff, which is neat, which is very, very neat. It's just this is so expensive. I do not want this 2 cost. Why did we have that in here? That 2 rune cost just feels so expensive for this, for what it does. That sucks, but it is what it is. Next is Teemo, Guerrilla Warfare. Return up to 2 cards with hidden from your trash to your hand. You can hide ignoring cost this turn. Whoa. Okay, so this card here is probably the main reason you'd play Teemo. The fact that you get 2 cards from your trash, 2 hidden cards from your trash, and you can hide ignoring cost. Yeah. The wording is a little different to tell you. Like, it makes sense, but it also, I would have worded it different. Like, you can ignore hiding costs, or hide cost, or you can ignore costs to hide cards this turn, something like that. You can hide ignoring costs. It's like you're saying that you could hide the ignoring cost. That's kind of but I get it. You can hide while ignoring the cost for hide this turn. Well, yeah, so I got that. So yeah, this is strong because now you got 2 cards. You can just hide. That's a lot of resources that you just kind of gain from there, and those hidden cards are very, very good, or some of them are very, very good. So if you are playing Teemo, this is the reason why, because this card is so good. Next we have Siphon Power for Victor, 2 cost, 2/1. Choose a battlefield, give friendly units there +1 this turn, and enemy unit there -1 this turn to a minimum of 1. Okay, this is also pretty strong. the fact that it does it for all enemy units and all of your units means that the swing is insane, especially the more units there are on there, right? If your opponent, say for example, has 3 units, they get -3, right? And then you gain a +1, so that a 4 might swing. So things like that, that is super strong. This card, you probably run 3 off in Victor decks with the amount of tokens that you get. And then this card is so strong, like, yeah, Victor would just run that at max. Next we have MF's Bullet Time, cost 1. Pay any amount of runes to deal damage to all enemy units at the battlefield. Interesting. So that is very good, by the way. I'm just letting you know now. This is very, very good. The fact that you have control on how much you want to damage something, but just by returning runes is good. Also, I'm sorry, but I'll bring it up again. We love Aurora in MF, right? And the fact that you have this means, because Aurora playing you cards, you can afford to lose runes for some turns. You know, because Aurora is just gonna play you your big cards anyway. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to spend the runes to use this card and actually win games. So yeah, I expect Bullet Time to go crazy. I believe this is the last one. It sets signature spell 1 and for 1 rune. Buff a friendly unit at your base and move it to a battlefield. Oh, that's cool, because that always turns on the effect there. So playing the Showstopper will turn on this effect should you need it. So yeah, it just works with the effect of the boss or of the legend. So yeah, I believe that's it. Yeah, there's a few coming up here. These will be the battlefield. Just take a look at some of the tokens here. We have recruit token, oh, and then the sprite token, which is for like the sprite mother or something like that, right? That's cool. I like it. There's a bunch of different kind of the recruit tokens to use, depending on which you kind of want, which flavor you want. All right, and then the next few cards will be the battlefields. So overall, yeah, I'm getting a. If you guys have been following the videos, I am definitely leaning to one deck that I feel is the strongest. I'm sure you guys could all tell by now which one I think is the strongest based on obviously the cards that we have seen, right? So I'm excited to make that tier list again. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, give a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and drink your veggies.